Hi friends, it's Sarah with Ruffles and Rain Boots. I have a free file for you today as well as a whole bunch of tips for making these and other items. So I'm going to be using the xTool F2, but this is a project you can do with any laser. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I tend to avoid fluff and I go quickly. So you can slow this down by going to the cog on the YouTube player and then playback speed. Anything above the word normal will slow it down. You can get this free file at the links below, either on Atom or on my website. You just shop with or check out with a $0 balance. I am always going to tell you, if you like free stuff, sign up for my laser newsletter. It's full of info, sales, and freebies. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can easily design this yourself using a single piece of software. There's no AI credits to be used. There's nothing other than you choose a font. Typography-centered designs like this really sell because they're easy to see from afar. You can put them into many occasions, and people like gifting them because they're usually sold for $5 a piece or 2 for $8, something around there. So what I'm doing is I'm just using fonts here. I'm going to lock this circle, which is just as a guide. Then I'm going to split this text. This is a very fun feature inside of xTool Studio that will allow us to always go back and edit that font, a live font. So I recommend you start using this feature, especially when you're placing items like this. And really don't combine or unite or change it to a path until you're done with the design. I'm using the alignment tools built right into xTool Studio, as well as the curved text feature to follow that top curve and the bottom curve. Isn't that really fun? I love this, and I have to tell you, the additions that they've made to xTool Studio are mind-blowing. So you can see I made it a little bit too big there, so let's just grow this font just a little bit on the top and the bottom to really draw the eye, and then position those into place. Now, as a reminder, you can use all of these tools as many times as you want, and you can even mess them up like that. You hit undo, group all these together, and then you can use the alignment tools the right way. As a reminder, always use those hotkeys if you like working on a keyboard. They do save time, and always save your file. It breaks my heart when I hear, is there a way to get back this design? No. You just got to get in the habit of saving it either to your local drives or to the MySpace. So now we can go ahead and finish this file. So all I'm doing is turning off that circle. We don't want that information. I'm going to change it to engrave. And then we can also even just convert it to a path with a quick right click or using the top menu button. Now that we have it, I'm going to save it again because this is our final design. Love that. I'm going to use my calipers to measure the corks, and you can see that's there. I like to have that as a reference. We're going to talk about two different types of jigs. The first is my Lego jig, and I will use this and fight for it with my last breath. I love the Lego jig because I can build it 1 layer, 2 layer. I can put it inside the F2, under the F2. I can fill it with rice, or I can just build around items like that. And if you don't want to use rice, I'm going to give you a tip after I dump this out. I don't know why I did that, but if you don't want to use rice, you can use poly pellets. They are non-moisture absorbing, and they really mold to items. The bag looks like this. They have much smaller bags. This is usually in the stuffing section of the craft store. You can get it online as well. But this is great to put in your go bag if you go to markets because it doesn't absorb moisture. You don't have to worry about it being a food item. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in, making sure the red and the blue dots are on top of my cork. I'm now going to come back into the software and hit this auto measure. Now you can see I have bamboo or something loaded from a previous project. You don't have to have anything loaded there. I'm going to give you my settings, but as always, you can run a material test as well. So I'm just going to make sure my cork little engraving thing is turned off. My circle is turned off just to make sure that I don't engrave my jig because that would be sad. And now that our file is built, we can go ahead and position everything into place. You can see my letters are all still grouped together until you make it, until you're ready to burn it and make it a compound path. You can leave it alone. All right, so now that I have it in place, I'm going to come down to the framing and choose polygon. For those of you wondering, I use polygon or outline a lot, and the reason is because I can check all 3 lines placement. So the beginning and end of the first word sip, as well as the bottom one, I want to make sure those are placed pretty well. Once that's done, I'll turn off the framing, and now let's zoom in over here. These are my settings, 70, 251, and 100. This is pretty much what I use on other items for corks, so I'm going to try this and see how it burns. 70 and 250 or 300 is usually a good place to start your material testing. Once I have that, I'm just going to come down here and hit process. It should be between, I don't know, 12 and 18 seconds, and this one is 15, so let's go ahead. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put on my goggles and hit start because I do have the lid open right out of the machine. Sorry, that's the other camera. You can see it here. I'm going to show you a close-up in just a second, but I always want to run more than one because look at the difference in grain. We have wide grain on this one and pretty tight on the other. So I'm going to run those exact same settings and make sure that they also work. So I'm going to auto measure again, just in case I moved anything. Just make sure I have it right in place. Now that's going to process, and I'm going to show you it right out of the laser, but go ahead and hit save again. You always want to make sure you have that final file saved, everything in place. I found this free Cork Jig on Atom, and I just happened to have my M1 Ultra placed right next to my F1, so I cut it on my M1 Ultra, popped it in here. Super simple to replace the base plate inside of the F2 with a jig like this. And so you just easy, you can pull them in and out really quickly like this. But when you have your multiples in, I do recommend you always checking the level of them for the cleanest burn. It's really easy to adjust each individual one. And that's it for the multi-jig. Like I said, super simple. Now let's talk about some more wedding ideas. Let me know if you want a full SVG set for these. These are great sellers. They're just customized cedar hangers for the bridal party. We also put together kits for bridal party, and you can see how well the F2 will burn those. A lot of people don't realize you can actually make a ton of ornaments, and you can offer multiple styles and sets. These two are going to be available in my Atom and in my shop soon. If you have the F2, you can cut this out of craft plastic as well as wood. Now, obviously, flasks are a big seller. I have these, but I haven't made them yet. I'm waiting for a project. And golf. Golf is huge. JPP has golf tee holders that are really good as well, but these take 5 seconds to customize. So you can see this is the jig file in my M1, but you can run it in your xTool F2 as well. Now, right out of the machine, you can see that did a great job side by side. I'll show you in just a second as well. So I'm going to definitely use these settings for mine and would love to hear if you have done corks or what your settings are for yours. As a reminder, I'm going to put the newsletter. It's free. You can sign up down below, click lasers so you only get my laser content. I'm also going to put the links for both the Atom file and the Atom jig, as well as my shop file where you check out with the 0 balance. That's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining. Please like the video and subscribe for more.